let's dive into a powerful but maybe a little misunderstood tool for anyone trying to make big moves in global trade. We're going to solve a really fundamental question. It sounds a bit like a riddle, doesn't it? You know, you've got this massive sales order. Your buyer's all set to go. But the goods? Well, they're still sitting with your supplier, and you just don't have the cash right now to pay for them. This is the exact challenge we're going to tackle. So let's meet our hero for today, the intermediary trader. This is the person who's that essential link, connecting a buyer with the perfect supplier. But they're stuck in a classic bind, facing a pretty critical cash flow gap. And here's the heart of the problem. Your buyer, they'll pay you, sure, but only after they get the goods. But your supplier, they want their money before they'll even think about shipping. So you're caught right in the middle. It's such a common and frustrating wall that can stop a growing business in its tracks. But what if I told you the answer isn't about scrambling to find more cash? What if it's about using a really smart financial instrument, a kind of superpower really, that can rearrange the whole deal to work for you? And this is it, the Transferable Letter of Credit, or an LC for short. Just think of it as a rock-solid promise of payment from the buyer's bank. And the real magic is that one little word, transferable. It means you, the trader, can literally pass a piece of that promise over to your supplier. You're basically using your buyer's good credit to get the deal done. And listen, this is way more than just plugging a cash flow hole. This one document hands you like 4 different superpowers. First, financing without touching your own money. Second, you give your supplier the best security possible, a guarantee from a bank. Third, confidentiality. You get to keep your supplier and your profit margin totally private. And all of that lets you do the fourth thing, take on way bigger deals. Okay, to really get how this works, you've got to know the cast of characters in this little financial drama. Getting their rules straight is absolutely the key to understanding the whole thing. So let's do a quick roll call. The applicant, that's your final buyer. Their bank is the issuing bank. They're the ones who create the LC. You, the trader in the middle, you're the first beneficiary. The bank that helps you pass the credit along is the transferring bank. And finally, your supplier is the second beneficiary. See? It's like a financial relay race, and everyone's got to run their leg of the race perfectly. Okay, so we know who the players are. Now, let's watch how they all work together. This is the play-by-play of how the magic actually happens. It all kicks off when you and your buyer agree to use a transferable LC. Then, their bank issues it to you. You take that to your bank and say, okay, I need to transfer a portion of this, just enough to cover your supplier. As soon as your supplier gets that bank guarantee, boom, they ship the goods. They send their shipping documents to the bank to get paid, and here is the really clever move. You step in, swap their invoice for your own, and then the bank pays everyone out. The supplier gets their cash, and you get your profit. It's beautiful. I really want to focus on this for a second, the invoice substitution. This is the secret sauce. It's the one move that lets you hide your supplier's price from the buyer and the buyer's price from the supplier. It protects your profit, for sure, but maybe just as important, it protects your relationships. You stay that essential, confidential link in the chain. Now, like any real superpower, this thing comes with a few very specific rules, and you have to follow them to the letter if you want this to go off without a hitch. And this is rule number 1. It's the golden rule. The letter of credit has to say explicitly the word transferable. Other words that sound close, like divisible or assignable, they don't count. It has to be that specific magic word, or it's a no-go. The next big rule is all about this number, 1. A transferable credit can only be transferred one time. You, as the first beneficiary, pass it to your supplier, the second beneficiary. But that's it. They can't then turn around and pass it to their supplier. This keeps things from getting messy and complicated. It keeps the whole deal clean. So when you transfer that credit, what can you actually change? Well, you have some flexibility. You can reduce things, like the total amount and the price per item, which is how you carve out your profit. You can also bring in the dates for shipment and expiry. But the core of the deal, the main terms and conditions, and the absolute obligation to ship the goods, those have to stay exactly the same. This protects the original buyer while giving you the room you need to operate. As amazing as this tool is, it's not a silver bullet. It's not without risks. So it's really important to look at this with clear eyes and talk about the key things you need to watch out for. First, a bank is not actually forced to transfer the credit. They can say no. Second, you, the trader, are usually on the hook for all the transfer fees. And remember that secret invoice swap? If you forget to do it, the bank might just send the supplier's original invoice on to the buyer. And poof, there goes your confidential pricing. And finally, the whole payment chain depends on your supplier providing perfect documents. Any little mistake can cause huge delays for everyone. These aren't reasons not to do it, but they are things you absolutely must manage carefully. So, when you step back and look at it, the transferable letter of credit, it's more than just a way to get paid. It's a strategic tool. It can solve that fundamental cash flow problem. It secures your entire supply chain, and it can seriously fuel your company's growth. So the only question left to ask is, could this be the key that unlocks the next big trade for your big idea? Thanks for joining us.